Ladies and gentlemen, this is an actual picture of the US Canadian border. I've actually been to this border a couple of times. Ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian Prime Minister just announced that Canada US border will stay closed until America gets COVID under control. This border ain't never opening back up, y'all. Ain't never opening back up. So this is USA Today, October 15th, 2020. Don't bet on the US Canadian border reopening after the closure agreement expires October 21st. In an interview Wednesday, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his country is committed to keeping the border closed until the United States gets control of COVID 19. The US is not in a place where we feel comfortable reopening those borders, he told a host of Smart Start, which airs on Canada's global television network. We will continue to make the Canadian safety is top of our mind when we move forward. We see the cases in the US. Yeah, and see, they're seeing that I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. They're watching all of that. It's people don't want you, they don't want you in their country. At the rate the US is going, no borders are going to be opened back up to US citizens. Okay, so we see the cases in the United States and elsewhere around the world, and we need to continue to keep these borders controls in place. Okay, so U.S. border with Canada, Mexico remain closed through October 21st to slow spread of COVID-19. In the past, 13 states, including Alaska, Minnesota, Montana, and North Dakota, which border Canada, topped their own records for new cases in a 7-day period. North Dakota, which shares a 310-mile border with its northern neighbor, reported cases at a speed of 1/3 faster per capita based on any U.S. State experienced the worst of the spring or summer surges. Otherwise, the healthy 25-year-old Nevada man became the first American to contract COVID-19 twice, casting further doubt on the viability of the herd mentality espoused by the White House. In his case, the second infection prompted stronger symptoms than the first. There have been more than 20 confirmed cases of reinfection worldwide. Although the COVID-19 infection rate is far lower than that of the US, Canada has not been immune from a second wave of cases. According to the Canadian government, the country reported 31,000 new cases and 372,000 deaths in the past 2 weeks. Cumulatively, it has more than 193,000 cases and almost 9,750 deaths. The province of Quebec, which reported more than 7,000 cases in the past week. Ontario, which counted nearly 5,500. We are in the worst shape according to the New York Times data. I think the second wave is really exhausting, Trudeau acknowledged. So let me see if I can get this to play of Trudeau. Let's see here.
The first Canadian clinical trials for a potential COVID-19 vaccine at the Canadian Centre for Vaccinology at Dalhousie University. The National Research Council of Canada will be working with the manufacturers so that if these vaccine trials are successful, we can produce and distribute it here at home. Research and development take time and must be done right, but this is encouraging news. From the outset, Our number one priority has always been to protect the health and safety of Canadians, and we've been able to count on the Canadian Red Cross to do just that. They've been playing a key role in supporting Canadians during this crisis, helping both individuals and communities with their most pressing needs. But like many organizations, the Red Cross is facing an increased demand for its services at a time where they are getting fewer volunteers and receiving less in donations. So today, our government is investing $100 million to ensure that the Red Cross can keep responding to COVID-19 while also preparing for potential floods and wildfires.
Okay, so that was the Canadian Prime Minister, but I'm going to pick up from where I left off. Let's see here. So Trudeau said, we showed that we can pull together and get through this, and we did this spring. Then people got used to the slow burn in the summer. Now that cases are spiking up again with the approaching winter, with the approach of the flu season, we need to get things back under control. The upside, he said, is that we know how to do it in a more targeted way. And now that, they said from the spring, they know what to do. So they feel like they can get it under control in no time. Trudeau warned snowbirds to resist the urge to travel south in search of warmer climates. I know there's a lot of people worried what's happening south of the border in Florida, Arizona, California, and other places where the virus is not under control and less under control than we are here. See, he's boasting that they're doing better than the US. He's not wrong. The challenges around the healthcare system being overloaded and down there, and access to health insurance, making sure you have coverage in case something happens, are a lot more difficult. He said travel advisories is as far as the government concerned is willing to go. So they are going to continue with their travel advisories and keeping the border closed. Ultimately, if someone chooses to travel, we're not going to keep them imprisoned in Canada. There's freedom of movement in this country, he said. Still, people have to recognize that they're putting themselves at risk, putting their loved ones at risk, and they may not have the right kind of health insurance. So, he said you can go, but he advises against you, if you want to travel around. But ladies and gentlemen, Canada didn't even have a fraction of the cases that the US has. And they're not struggling like the US. But hey, at the rate this country is going, you're going to be banned from traveling to other countries forever because they're watching the US. They really are. They're watching closely and they know things are screwed up here. It's not like you're trying to hide it. You got it all out in plain sight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think about the Prime Minister of Canada just making a point of coming out and telling the US these borders will remain closed until you get your act together on your side of the border. Period. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.